I mean, Mark, I was lucky enough to be part of one of the audiences for that, and I mean, I struggled, and I still struggle to describe it because I think, I mean, my response to it was mostly kind of emotional, in the sense that what you were able to do, and I think this is some in large part sort of the magic of the people that you assembled for this, is that using Zoom, you were able to convey a whole series of different kind of like emotions and create kind of points of unsettlement and making us feel like we know what's going on and then don't know what's going on and just leading us around um, beautifully. And I was like, genuinely, I was a little bit shaky afterwards. I was like, am I scared? I'm not scared. I'm affected or whatever, and that was amazing because it's Zoom, like we spend our lives on Zoom being largely unaffected, no offense.
Of
And so this
course.
this was an incredible thing. But so little elements that I thought were just incredible, like the strobing, the main screen, which would then reflect the light back off the audience members' faces back into the feeds that we all got of each other's faces. But because it's all online and we have different latency on our systems, it all happens asynchronously. And those little beautiful moments were just like, that's brilliant. That's like that's great. Because for the most part, your fellow audience members are there, but they're kind of they're hidden away and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and just little touches like that, which that's one example of many that were littered throughout the performance or placed throughout the performance, was just beautiful, really, really, really kind of great. And so in terms of an audience member who felt like joyfully unsettled by the end of it, was that the intent, partly behind that? Was it to try and bring out some of this kind of visceral kind of response that I felt?
Um, yes, and a little no.
Okay.
I think that Elizabeth's work, I think, is always drawn to a darker side. I would say that there's elements of that um, horror, sort of occult, spiritual, that feed into it. So I think that's part of her sound world. I think it's also an area where Kit found quite a rich vein to furrow into, and also Ben and Jez. So I think the feel of it had that, but I think some of the things that you described, what the real impulse was to try to think of the simple things that remind people that they're together. So the first thing on Zoom, what you normally see is what we can see right now is everyone's got a different backdrop. We're clearly in different rooms. So the very simple fact that we did all of these performances after dark and encouraged people to be in as complete darkness as possible instantly transforms the venue. And to me, it was a little bit like when you're in a venue in the daytime and the theater lights are up or the club lights are up, and you go in at night and it's dark and it's dressed. It feels dramatically different. Then I think some of the lighting and strobing effects and highlighting that actually we're all looking at the same thing. This isn't, I'm not getting something different from you. But also then what was, I guess, a happy accident that we realized early on is that the internet latency and different connection speeds give you this, sometimes this beautiful cascades, which were just a really thrilling kind of thing in and of themselves. But yeah, I think what we were again hoping to do, and I think these were the sort of rudimentary first steps, were that even on something as flat as Zoom, there are ways that you can feel together. And it was just, an attempt, I think, to furrow into those as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was so successful. I love how you describe it as a first tentative exploration because, for my money, it was the best thing I saw. Admittedly, in a funny old year, but it was easily the best immersive experience of my year. So that's brilliant.